Thank you. To the first group, I say, now it is Pawan, military transport.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You can start sharing. I will start sharing.
Uh, is the screen visible, sir?
Not yet, Pawan. It's visible now.
Okay. Okay, so good morning, everyone. This is military transport aircraft weight estimation by Group 11. So this is what we're going to see in the report today.
Presentation today.
Yes, the presentation today. Sorry.
Yeah.
The presentation today, and this is the mission. On this slide, you can see the design specifications that have been given to us in bold. So our aircraft must be able to carry 20,000 kg and have a range of 5,000 kilometer, be able to carry out a rescue mission, and it should be able to carry out short takeoff landing or vertical takeoff landing, and has a service ceiling of around 14 kilometer. So based on the specifications given and mainly the VTOL specification given, the range, we decided to go with a turbojet engine. We saw that presently in most of the military transport aircraft, they either use piston prop or turboprop, but we felt like having seen the vertical takeoff landing, short takeoff landing aircraft that are currently being used today, a turbojet engine would be better. And we also saw the number of crew that is usually there for a military transport, and this very small number of crew really. It's only the pilot, co-pilot, and one or two to handle the ordnance. So we went with three crew members. And since we have been given a service ceiling of 14 kilometer, we decided the cruise altitude of about 12 kilometer and a Mach number of 0.8. So since it is primarily a military transport aircraft, but also should be able to carry rescue mission, we decided to have the rescue mission as the primary, since we thought that if it is just delivery of ordnance, our mission profile would be just to take off from one base and land in another, and return. But a return mission would not be really confirmed. But in a rescue mission, a return mission is confirmed. So we'll have to take off, land, and then again come back to our own base. So and then so we decided to take the rescue mission as the primary one, but we considered a worst case scenario of the aircraft having to also deliver a 20,000 kg payload in the first half of the mission. So throughout the
But don't
mission,
do that. Don't do that, please.
okay, sir.
No, you don't have to, complicate things like that. Yeah. Yes, continue.
Okay, sir. Okay, actually, this is why we had a long debate about the mission profile, sir.
Okay,
So,
sure. Because actually, it might actually help you.
okay,
But it's okay. You tell me what you've done. It's okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So, since we assume like that in our calculation, especially for range, we have assumed a 20,000 kg payload here too. So I think that will vary, sir.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
okay,
No.
but let me just
What
explain
you
what.
have done is also good upon thinking, reflecting back. Yeah.
Okay,
I
sir.
think you may be right. We'll discuss later after other ask questions. Other should ask. Okay.
Okay, sir. Actually, and I'll come back to the range later, why we chose 5,000 for the entire thing. But I'll explain that in the end. So right now, the range for the entire mission that is going to this base and coming back, we have considered as 5,000 kilometer. So going to the first one, uh, this fuel weight fraction for each component. First is the takeoff fuel weight fraction. So this we got from the Thomas C. Clark Design of Aircraft book from the data given here. Since it's a long haul aircraft and it's a big one, we consider to have a higher fuel weight fraction based on the data given here of 0.97. And moving on to the climb and acceleration, also we got from this particular graph here. This is from the Fundamentals of Aircraft and Airship Design book. So since we have considered a cruise Mach number of 0.8, the corresponding weight fraction seems to be around 0.975 for our kind of aircraft, about 2.5% to 3% of the fuel during this phase. So both the takeoff and climb, we are getting it from aircraft data that is already present.
Go fast. Yeah.
And next is the cruise fuel weight fraction we use the rigid range equation. So like I said, what we have done is calculated it for the first half of the mission, range 2500. So, and then we got L by D max from the data given here. All this has been calculated, TSFC of 0.9.
0.91 or 9?
0.9, sir. The unit says this is the unit.
Oh, but 1 is not necessary. 0.9 per hour will do.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. So we have done the calculation for this, and
next.
This is the aspect ratio. We have to do this for the aircraft. And next is the loiter fuel weight. We considered a loiter time of around just 30 minutes for our aircraft. And we again use the endurance equation for this.
Why have you used a different TSFC? Okay, we'll ask later.
Okay, sir.
I'm doing this mistake of asking questions. Actually, this other your classmates should ask the questions. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. The TSFC is changing here at loiter stage. So again, we plug it into this equation. We get a loiter fuel weight fraction of around 0.979. And then for landing, again, we got from data obtained from the Clark book of 0.975. So the next step was to multiply all this and get a total weight fraction. What we did here was, since the range we calculated just for the first half, we considered two mission profiles of same. So what we did was we assumed are approximately same L by D cruise height, cruise velocity throughout the return mission. And then we got a final fuel weight fraction of 0.4339. And then yes, this we got the final, and this accounts for the 6% of reserved and trap fuel also. And then the empty weight fraction and total weight was calculated using the iterative process given in the Raymer book. So what we had to do was use this particular formula here. And for the empty weight fraction, we got it from this particular formula and given a table here. So for the military cargo bomber, the A is 0.093 and CF minus 0.07. So in the next page, I've given what we have done. So this is the iterative process we have done here. So we finally arrived at a value of 128,613 kg as our total weight, and the empty weight fraction of 0.4081. So this is just one example given for the first iteration here. And that's about it. These are the references. That's all, sir.
Okay. Any questions from the class? Anyone? Questions will get you marks. Bonus marks, actually. Okay. So, Pawan.
Yes, sir.
Now, I think your two missions are very varied missions. They are not very, primary, secondary are not similar at all.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So primary you have taken as rescue. For rescue, you will have more weight on the way back because you have to carry more passengers from there back. Okay. And you may have to carry stretchers, then medical equipment, one medical doctor at least.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
So, mm,
so does that mean that 20,000 kg is not the maximum limit of our aircraft?
no, don't take 20,000 kg for this kind of mission. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
You can even reduce the cruise height because for rescue.
Okay, sir.
That is, although the max ceiling, service ceiling is given as 14 kilometer, use that only for the other one, the 20,000 kg delivery.
Okay,
I'm
sir.
afraid you may have to do two different weight estimations. Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
take the worst case scenario. Design for the worst case.
Okay, sir.
For example, in one you're getting 15% fuel weight. Another you're getting 25% fuel weight. Then design for 25% weight case, fuel fraction.
Okay, sir.
Take
Sir,
that as your design one. But
sir.
now, the 20,000 kg when you go forward is not necessary for this primary function. Okay.
Okay,
But
sir.
it should be able to carry stretchers, medical equipment, and they should, that you should think. On the way back, okay, there'll be two takeoffs and two landings here,
Yes, sir.
right? So then on the way back, you have to accommodate more number of passengers. Now,
Yes.
this passengers weight, however large they are, they won't become 20,000 kg, correct?
Yes, sir.
200, if you want to put 200 people there, usually you see how many people a rescue aircraft can carry. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Or you can have the same 20,000 kg and call them as, I'm rescuing 200 people. I'm capable of rescuing 200 people in case of a disaster or something.
Okay, sir.
That way you can put 20,000 kg on the way back when you return. That will change the whole thing. Okay.
Yes,
But
sir.
if you don't want the 20,000 kg, you can say my only 10 or 15 passengers I can rescue. Because how many stretchers can you put in the plane? It's lengthwise.
Yes, sir.
How will you arrange for that? How many patients if you're bringing out 200 passengers for a rescue? At least 50 or 60 may be critically injured, and so many stretchers may be there. It's not practical. So you think of all these things, and then determine your payload weight on the way back.
Okay, sir.
May not be 20,000 kg. Okay, it may be much less than that.
Okay. And the service and the cruise altitude need not be 12 kilometer, right, sir?
It should be less because when
Okay.
you view from at least maybe 4 5 kilometers, you
Hmm.
have to sight people down.
Yes, sir.
It is easier if even if you have a telescope or one, it
Okay.
is easier to sight them from a lower altitude. So closer to the sea, the better.
Okay, sir.
It's not very close because you won't get the coverage, but sufficiently close that you get the coverage and then you can spot people also.
Yes, sir.
Maybe 1 kilometer height, even that should be, I don't know. You think of it. On the way back also, you don't have to climb, but you can actually, you can think of what profile designing for. I leave it to you. This is one cruise. I mean, one mission profile.
Yes,
The
sir.
second one is a simple mission profile, but the payload is 20,000 kg.
Yes, sir.
Now you find the fuel weight fraction, final fuel weight fraction for both these,
Okay.
and choose the worst case scenario. Whichever has more fuel weight fraction will be the one you'll be designing for. Although, if suppose even the secondary one is becoming the one, you take that fuel weight fraction. Okay.
Okay, sir. Uh,
So, and then that is if you design for that, it will definitely work for the other one also.
yes, sir. Yes.
That's the logic. And your fuel fraction estimate. Hmm?
Yes, sir.
You haven't marked what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Generally, you're putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there in your
Oh,
calculation.
yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then, yes, and what is it? 0.85, you got some number.
Which
Which
one,
leg
sir?
is that for your fuel weight fraction? See, in this, I look at your fuel weight fraction as the, main thing. One thing, you don't use different TSFCs for, different phases of flight.
Okay,
Where
sir.
somewhere you're using 0.9, somewhere you're using 0.8. Be
Uh,
consistent. Hmm?
okay, sir. Okay, sir. But okay, sir. Yeah.
Why, what is the reason for that?
It was actually we took it from the Raymer book and they had given it separately for loiter and
Hmm.
cruise separately.
Okay, that is
So
because, but cruise should be lower than lighter then,
okay, sir. Okay.
in that case. But don't do that. You can assume C to be constant to, save trouble for yourself.
All right. Okay, sir. Yeah, understood.
Because the TSFC does vary with speed and height.
Hmm.
But as a first approximation, we consider it as constant.
Okay, sir. Yeah, we'll take care of that, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then another thing is, your process. Oh,
Yes.
show me the final one. Fine. W1 by W2, the weight fraction. Yeah. Something is 0.8. What is W4 by W3? 0.85.
This must be the this is the cruise weight fraction, sir.
First one or second one?
The thing is, we assumed both to be the same, sir.
Don't assume they won't be the same.
Sir,
Okay.
not assuming, sir. Actually,
Who's
what
this
I did,
answering? Who's
sir,
answering?
sir Nandakumar.
Nandakumar.
Yes, sir.
Let him answer this time.
Sorry, sir. Okay, sir.
It's okay because you'll get your chance next
Yes.
in whatever presentation. Tell Pawan.
Sir, it will change, sir, but we didn't know how to account for the changing L by D cruise height and velocity. So we
No.
assumed it
See,
to be the
assuming same thing, but yeah, it may or may not be the same, right? Because
Yes, sir.
you're
Yes.
taking the same cruise altitude, but
Hmm.
fuel weight will be different, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. That is where we had a lot of questions.
Mm-mm. The
So,
problem with you is you
hmm,
have weight addition or removal in between your mission profile.
yes, sir.
You have weight addition after this, correct? So don't go by this formula.
Okay.
Think what you should do is you first calculate not the fraction at the end of every phase, actual weight of the aircraft.
Okay.
Then you also separately calculate how much fuel is consumed for each phase.
Okay, sir. Okay.
There is two things you have to keep track. After every phase, what is the weight, not weight fraction. From weight fraction given, what is actual weight?
Okay, sir.
You
But
will have the data when you are calculating.
yes, sir.
Wait. And then fuel amount of fuel consumed, not the fuel fraction for each one. Okay. So
Okay.
keep subtracting the fuel at each phase.
Yes, sir.
Hmm? Then finally, you'll have the fuel weight consumed. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Totally. Divided by the initial MTOW, you will get the total fuel weight fraction. Don't use this multiplication for your kind of profile. For the other one, you can use. For the secondary one, the simple case is there. No?
Yes, sir.
There you can use this multiplication of W1 by W2. All this, you can multiply all this and get the fraction. But for this one, if you are either delivering or delivering a payload or having increased weight when you return, you better to you don't do it this way. You go back and calculate the actual weight finally. Then that the difference will give you fuel weight. That fuel weight by initial weight will give you fuel fraction.
Okay, sir. But
Hmm.
when you say that we have to calculate the actual weight, are you saying that we have to assume initial takeoff weight?
Yes. Initial takeoff weight you assume. Then you
Okay.
get fuel weight fraction for example, takeoff
Hmm.
0.97.
Yes, sir.
At the end of takeoff, what is the weight of the aircraft?
Okay, sir. Understood, sir.
It is
Yes, sir.
0.97.
Hmm.
Then at the end of the the climb, what is the weight of the aircraft? How much fuel is consumed?
Okay. Yes, understood, sir. Yes.
So the weight of the fuel itself you add for every phase. How much fuel is consumed each phase. You will find that your final answer is different if you use this. This is the
Yes.
correct way.
Okay.
Okay.
And sir, actually, we had one question, and actually, it's more of an observation. When we
Wait.
were
First, you ask the question to the class.
okay,
If someone
sir.
answers, they will get marks.
Yes, sure, sir.
Tell me. Tell me. What is the question or
Sir,
observation?
yes, sir. When we were calculating for the cruise weight fraction, the first time we assumed that the entire range is going to be 10,000. That is from here to here is going to be 5,000. That is what we actually assumed that this specification means. And when we did that, our final takeoff weight came to be around 700 to 800,000 kgs.
Yeah.
That
Because
is
for a longer range, you will get more.
yes,
fuel.
yes. So that is actually not correct, right? So that's too much weight,
Not
right?
correct. Not correct. Yeah. No.
Okay, so
It depends. If I give you crazy specification, you'll get crazy weight.
so that
If you
is what.
take, if you want to, if I take it into a space problem, okay, I'll give you, 100 kg payload. What is the weight of the satellite launch vehicle to take it to orbit? It will be several tons.
Yes, sir.
The fuel weight will be on the payload will be only 1 to 2% of your whole weight.
Yes, sir.
Now Sanjeev has a question. Let him ask the question.
Yes.
Welcome, Sanjeev. So I applaud you for asking the first question in this course. Sanjeev, what is the question?
Sorry, sir.
Sanjeev, what's your roll number?
You asked Pavan to calculate fuel weight fraction for each phase of the flight, sir. Sir, why can't he just calculate
Pavan,
for the worst
ask
case
the question
scenario?
to Pavan.
Then
We ask Pavan the question. What is the question now? Again, repeat. Hello, Sanjeev.
Sir,
Hello.
Hello.
We are not hearing you properly.
Sir,
Maybe you
hear
can
me now,
share.
sir?
Yeah.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, you asked Pavan to calculate the fuel weight fraction for each phase of flight, sir.
Yeah.
Then why can't he just calculate it for the worst case scenario so everything else is taken care of?
What is the worst case? You ask him. I should not answer. Yeah. Pavan, you understand the question? If not, you can actually ask him to rephrase the question.
Yes, Sanjeev, I don't understand what you mean by the worst phase. Is it what do you mean what we have already done or?
No. For example, you can't take more than a certain weight in your aircraft. Right? So if you calculate for that weight, then you don't have to worry about the weight differences in each phase of the mission. Right?
I don't quite understand the question, but either way,
Yeah, what is it, Sanjeev? I try to understand. Sanjeev, can you again
Yes,
ask?
sir.
I'm not really clear.
Sir, you said you have to calculate fuel weight fraction for each phase of flight because the fuel, the total weight of the aircraft changes for each phase of the flight. Sir.
Yeah.
But that is because he is delivering some equipment. Because of that, there is a weight change. So
in between the
if he yes, sir. And he also takes some patience or something like that. When he does that, the weight of the aircraft increases. So
yes.
What I'm asking is, if he fixes a certain weight limit for the aircraft, you can't take in more than 20 patients or something like that. Then if he calculates it for that limit, then he doesn't have to worry about the fuel weight fraction change in each phase of the flight.
No, he has to. If you deeply think, he has to. Okay. Yeah.
Sanjeev, I think that is what we have already done here. But as Sir said, we shouldn't do it combined because we assumed maximum payload weight of 20,000, like both the ordnance and the rescue.
See, I'll tell you why. You can actually do that till you the fraction way of calculating. You can still go ahead with it until you add the weight.
Okay.
After you add the weight, the total weight will be different. But
okay.
no fuel is spent in that. Okay, the fuel weight fraction will be 1 consumed during the when you add it during the rescue phase. No fuel is consumed, assuming you are not idling for a very long time. And but you'll be, or you can put 0.9999 or something like that. Assume that no fuel is consumed, and again you have to take off everything. No, so again it will come. Or if you want to simplify, you can actually for first phase you have the fuel weight fraction, but determine the total weight after that first weight. Determine how much fuel is consumed after the first phase. Then add the weight of this one. You'll get a different weight here. With that as a starting point, you again take off, climb, and cruise. You'll get a different, fuel weight fraction here. Using this takeoff weight and here, you can determine the final weight here and how much fuel is consumed here. You can add both the fuel weights. That is also you can do if you want to simplify it, but split it into 2 phases. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Yeah.
Understood.
No, I'm answering Sanjeev. Yeah, I know Pavan understood. Ramanathan. No, Sanjay first. Sanjay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pavan, so I
Only
had
3 questions. We restrict only 3 questions. Ramanathan. Others can wait for the next opportunity. Yeah.
so Pavan, I just had 2 minor doubts. The first one is, can you go to that cruise phase fuel weight fractions estimation?
Yes, here.
Yeah, the next one is yes, this one. Loiter, sorry. Loiter.
Okay.
So here you said
Hey,
you have
Sanjeev, excuse me. Sanjeev, what's your roll number? I forgot. Sanjeev
Sir, that
or Sanjay, his voice is breaking.
sir,
Yours
Sanjay's
is
number is 37.
37. You are 38, huh?
I am 36.
36. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
So Pavan, like you have approximated L by DC as L by D. So in this case, like you should not bother about C, right? So like if you have included C, so I mean, does that affect your calculation?
No, he has not included. He approximated as L by D. Correct, Sanjeev? Correct, Pawan?
Yes, sir. We have approximated it to L by D, but we just wanted to state the TSFC that we are assuming here.
Okay, but this difference doesn't change the calculation.
We actually did. You mean you mean to say if we don't approximate it?
Yeah. Because I did it for my calculations and I got some minor difference. So yeah, it just was.
Oh, do you mean to say you assume just L by D as L by D max, but take C separately?
Yes.
We did do that. Yeah, we did do that calculation, and here we got 0.979. I think that one we got 0.97, around 0.975. And since it was not a very big variation, we thought we'd go with this one.
Yeah, it's okay because this C here is almost near 1.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And anyway, I mean, then what units of C will you take? That's another moot point.
Yes, sir. Because I got my units as kg per Newton second. Again, here
don't do it. Forget it. Huh?
Oh.
See, this combination, if you maximize,
yes,
it won't take you anywhere. Anywhere means you are doing a lot of work for very little return.
Yes, sir.
So don't do it. It is not necessary. Why I'm not telling you not to do it? No, you are wasting time. You need time for a lot of time in this final year. Okay, that is right.
Yes,
otherwise, it's a good effort. If you try to do it, I'll appreciate it. No problem.
Okay.
The fact that you are trying to do it is good. No. Doubts means
no, sir, I had a doubt within.
Yeah. Ramanathan now. Then who's the next one? Krishna or whom?
Sir, this is Nivetha. No, sir, I had a doubt with this L by DC max. You said not to take it as L by DC max. Is it?
Yeah. We'll come to that later. You ask the question later. Now, last question for Ramanathan. Next thing you ask.
Thank you,
Pawan.
Sir, this is not actually a question, sir. This is just an observation from Sanjeev's question. So, sir, he told that let's take some. Let's take the worst case scenario.
Tell Pawan is the boss now. He's the teacher now. Okay, I'm just like you observe. Yeah.
So if you are taking the worst case scenario, then we might be carrying extra fuel which we may not be using in the flight throughout.
Yes, yes.
So in that case, I mean, in that way, it is not feasible and it's not doable. That's what I wanted to ask.
You mean to say
Pawan.
assuming the worst case is not
So,
right?
so till the rescue itself, we are assuming there are more weight to be carried out, and we carry fuel for that particular weight. But then we know that there won't be much weight till this point of time, so we won't be using the rest of the fuel. So in that way, it is actually carrying more weight without any reason.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I think this comes down to I think that is the whole point of a worst case. We never know how much fuel or how far we need to travel for a rescue mission, because rescue in its sense it's very short
No,
notice.
wait. No. Although we know we don't know how far you have to travel. We still assume this plane can travel only till 2,500.
Hmm.
If it is more than 2,500, use some other plane. Don't use this. That's where we stop. Understood?
Yes, and that's what I was trying to say.
No. So what he means is different. He is telling if you design for say 20,000 kg payload, and you have more fuel, it's more fuel than necessary if you're going only for rescue.
Yes, sir.
So how do you answer that question? I can answer, but you have to answer first. But you are not. I mean, you are going to change it anyway. I told you to change, but I think he's asking this question. Correct, Ramnathan?
Sir, in more refined form, I would ask. Till the end of this mission, this particular mission, sir. Say suppose 200 liters is being used. Taking from takeoff to rescue as less weight, and from rescue to end of mission as more weight. But in the worst case scenario, taking the total weight to be after this part of rescue mission, that is, say suppose we are adding personnel before even rescuing. So that is the worst case scenario.
No. Why should you add? We are telling that we are designing only for this. If it doesn't fit your may fit your particular flight program, don't use this.
Okay, sir.
That anyway. So this you should be clear. You're designing for telling this is the scope of this aircraft. Don't stretch it too far. That's what we are telling.
Okay.
We have to tell the specification clearly. And I'll ask Pawan to answer this variation in your question. Okay. You are designing for the worst.
It's not question to Pawan, sir. Just observation.
I know. That is okay, but still, Pawan needs to clear it.
Yes, sir. And actually, I'm a bit confused now.
No, nothing. Don't get confused. I asked you to design for two different mission profiles, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell you one is a worst case scenario.
Yes, sir.
Right. For example, you need only 15% fuel for this one. But for 20,000 kg case, the other one, ordnance delivery, you need 25% fuel fraction. Okay, you find out. Then you have to anyway satisfy that because it has a secondary role also to play.
Yes, sir.
So using 25%, you calculate the total weight, fuel weight. So the penalty is you'll have a larger structure, a larger weight. But in terms of fuel, when you go for rescue and you know that you need only 15%, don't carry 25%. To carry less percent of fuel. To begin with itself, you carry less fuel.
I think I understood the question now, sir. He means to ask, like, if we are designing for 25% fuel,
yes,
but the machine will require only 15%. So why carry 25% on all the missions?
Yes. So what you do is you carry only 15 or just more than 15 for the other mission. You don't carry 25% to start with.
Yes, sir.
That is one solution, but still Because of the added fuel weight, there will be added structural weight and engine weight. That's all okay. I mean, that's what we're living with because it has two missions to perform. For
Yes.
that, you have to pay somewhere. But what I'm telling you, you can save on the operations or fuel cost by carrying less fuel initially.
Okay.
So that you can save a little bit of fuel that way.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Don't you agree?
I agree, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an offshoot from your question, actually. Okay. Okay, good. Thanks for the participation. I'm not calling it marks per question. I'm giving marks as participation marks. Okay. So Ramanathan, your roll number?
Sir, 31.
31.
Yes.
Okay, so these three people get 5 marks for this presentation. Good. Now, beyond that, I'm not recording anything. Just your marks, roll number, and name. Okay, for this weight estimation. All will be in one sheet. I'll just share the screen for one brief moment. Pawan, thank you. We'll call the next group.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Next group is what? Solar
solar
pipeline. Okay,
Yes,
okay. Wait. Before that, I'll just share to show you what I see. I will give marks like this. Okay. Group, aircraft, roll number, name, date of presentation. Individual marks out of 100 I have given. Okay, this is for the individual. Now for Pawan, I will give 85 because he has answered well. And he has done his work. Although he made some mistake, that's not a big issue. Okay. And I know the team has also worked together in it a lot. Nanda Kumar tried to intervene, but I stopped him. It's not a signal, but I can tell from the presentation that the team has worked. So I will just call this as some 21 or something. I'll give for the whole team. So everyone on the team will give 21 marks because of Pawan's presentation. Pawan will get 85 marks out of 100. Then report, I will put the marks here after the team. I will sum up everything for the weight estimation here. So those who presented will get more marks only for the weight estimation. But this will be repeated for in a constant cycle. So everyone at the end of the whole cycle, everyone will have equal opportunity for scoring marks. And you are losing some 20 marks or 5 marks. 23 marks is lost by this team. Kevin, for example. If you ask 5 questions totally, he can make up for this. Now, 3 people ask the question. I have given 5 marks for each of the questions. Okay. So this is how I'm going to give marks. Is it clear? Nimeda?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then after the next presentation, or in an appropriate time, you can ask your question, or you can ask the question whatever. You get the first chance next time. Okay.
No, sir. I just had a doubt to get clarified. I got it clarified.
Okay, good. Or you can call me after the class. I will clarify it out.
Okay.
Right. Who's next? Solar pipeline. Who's giving the presentation?
Sir Surya Prakash.
Surya Prakash. Okay, roll number 45. Yeah. You can proceed, Surya.
Yes, sir.
Probably, you can do quickly. We don't have much. Oh, only 5 minutes remaining, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It doesn't matter. See, initial phases, I want to thrash out all the ambiguities. So initial presentations will be slow. I expect that. So we can present next class. No. You can present next class.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, someone was telling something. Who is that? Huh? Yeah. Yeah, Junaid. What is it? Junaid, you told something? Hey, Junaid. Junaid, are you there? So I will. I want to talk to you, Junaid. Junaid, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, I have divided
Hello?
people into different groups. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now I'll be putting you in group number. I'll tell you the group number. Okay. The
Okay,
other
sir.
group numbers, please include Junaid in your team. Okay. Except these, what is remaining? 11, 12. Group 12. Who's group 12?
Oh, sir. Group number.
The team members of group 12. See, Junaid's email is, the
Yeah,
roll number,
okay.
so you can.
Fine, sir.
So Junaid will belong to group 12. What is the topic for group 12? Group 12 members are here.
Strategic bomber.
Strategic bomber.
Strategic
Okay.
bomber.
So can you accommodate Junaid also in your team
Okay, sir.
at this stage? Huh?
Yes. Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay. Junaid, you'll be in that
Yes,
team.
sir.
Okay.
Okay, fine, sir.
This
Thank you, sir.
strategic bomber group. Okay, you will be part of the group which designs a strategic bomber. Okay, Junaid?
Yeah.
You have to work with them. You may have to give a presentation. Okay. Hello, Junaid. Okay.
Sir,
if you can't speak, you can type in the chat box. We'll know what you say. Okay. Somebody will tell me. Hey, Junaid, you go here and if you, this participant. Where is the chat? You have to go here. I think this is the only way to chat. As far as I know. You send it by chat and I'm not getting Junaid's answer yet. Okay, fine, sir. I'll join group 12. Fine. Okay, group 12 members, please contact Junaid. You please contact group 12 members. I'll tell you their roll numbers. Roll number 12. Roll number 12, you contact. 12, 29, 43, 58. These are your team members. So the team members can, when he contacts, you can explain the rules to him. Okay. Thank you. So let me take the attendance.